minutes to speak. Development plans require a public hearing. However, no action will be taken by the Planning Commission members. Plats, rezonings, and street renamings require a public hearing, and once the public hearing is completed, Planning Commission members will deliberate and render their decision. Planning Commission members with a personal or financial interest in any petitioner's request are required to recuse themselves. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce the members of the Planning Commission, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce the newest member of the Planning Commission. To my far left is Mr. James Reed. Welcome, James. Next to James Reed is Mr. Ann Clemens. Miss Ann Clemens, I'm sorry.
You know something I don't?
Night still young. Miss Ann Clemens, Buddy Hardwick, Cruz Reeves, Patrick Moss, Pickett Reese, and Malcolm Calhoun.
And who are you?
And I'm Kippy Tate. I'm the chairman of the Planning Commission. Thank you. Members of the Planning Control staff are here. We have Mr. Tommy Tyson, James Center, and Ms. Tanya Ingram. Thank you guys for being here. Members and petitioners are required to please speak directly into the microphone. And believe me, if you don't, someone up here will remind you to do that. And the reason is the minutes are recorded for legal purposes, and this is the only way to accurately pick up the audio. So at this time, we have 8 members present. It takes 5 votes to pass a motion, and I'll read this, but because of the number of members present, if you would like to delay your request, please let us know when your request is announced. Don't think that'll be a problem tonight. Planning controls, are there any changes to the agenda?
No, sir.
And at this time, we'll approve the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes?
Yep.
If we have, is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. All in favor? The minutes have been approved. Okay, Mr. Tyson, would you please read the first agenda item, sir?
Yes. The first item is presented by Bobby Rutter on behalf of Steve and Jan Steele and Bobby Rutter, requesting to rezone 2 lots at 2628 and 2634 Highland Avenue from R60S to B2.
Okay, remember this is a rezoning, so we will be voting on this item. Please present your item, sir.
I don't hear too good.
So this is a rezoning, and we will be voting on your item. So if you don't mind, go ahead and present your item. Oh, you can't hear? Okay. What I'm saying to you is that this is a rezoning item, so we will be voting on your item. So when you go back to the podium, you can speak into the microphone and present your item. Okay?
Go ahead and do that now.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and do that now.
Give your name first.
Well,
Yeah, I'm just wanting to get rezoned 2628, which is my property, and then 2634 Highland Avenue is Steve and Jan Steele's property, and we just want it to be rezoned commercial.
okay. And this is Mr. Rutter, is that right?
Bobby Rutter?
Bobby Rutter, okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rutter. Members of the commission, do you have any questions or comments for Mr. Rutter? Any members of the audience wish to speak to this item? Hearing none, is a motion in order?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been properly approved, so can we vote on this item? All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed?
Okay. So that's it?
Yes, that's it. It's been approved.
And it's rezoned?
It's been rezoned.
Okay, thank y'all very much. Appreciate it. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
The next item is presented by Glenn Tanner Land Surveying on behalf of Tracy Minifield, requesting final approval of Minifield Plat Number 1 on the west side of Lower Wetumpka Road, 140 feet north of Michigan Avenue from B2, it's in a B2 district.
You may present your item, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Glenn Tanner. I'm asking for final approval for Minifield Plat Number 1.
Okay, we will be voting on this item. So, members of the commission, do you have any questions or comments on this item? Any members of the audience wish to speak to this item? Seeing none, is a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. All in favor? Motion passes.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a good evening.
Next item, Mr. Tyson.
Third item is commercial site design on behalf of Cookout Restaurant. It's a public hearing for development plan for a new building on the north side of East Chase Parkway, 175 feet southwest of Boyd Cooper Parkway. It's a B2 district.
Mr. Stanley, present your item, please.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission, I'm John Stanley. I'm here tonight to make this presentation on behalf of Commercial Site Design. They're from out of town, and so I told them I'd be glad to present it for them. We're requesting development plan approval for a cookout restaurant to go on East Chase Parkway, adjacent to Taco Bell. Full access is already there. This building's about 2,852 square feet.
Okay, anybody on the commission have any comments or questions for Mr. Stanley? Seeing none, any members of the audience wish to speak for or against this item? This is a development plan, so we will not be voting on this, so a public hearing has been held. We'll go to the next item. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
Next item is presented by Lat 32, Inc. on behalf of G&J Holdings, LLC. It's a public hearing for development plan for a patio garden home development located on both sides of Crenshaw Close Court in a R24T district.
Represent your item.
I'm Gene Cody. I'm a partner in the G&J Holdings Group. I'm here for Lat 32. Had a variance done, I guess last month, got approved, and we're just ready to start building these 8 houses.
Okay. Any questions from the Planning Commission? Any members of the audience wish to speak to this item? This is a development plan, so there will be no vote. This was a public hearing. Public hearing's been held. Thank you for your time.
The next item is presented by Lat 32, Inc. on behalf of G&J Holdings, LLC. It's a request for final approval of Crenshaw Close Plat Number 1A on both sides of Crenshaw Close Court. It's a R24T district.
Go ahead and present your item.
Essentially, what we're doing here is we're adding a beautification easement that you'll see there in the picture. That's going to go along with the neighborhood, just to add a little character to it.
Members of the commission, any questions, comments?
The two lots that are not included, they have houses on them already?
Yes,
Is that
sir.
correct?
They do.
How will your request impact those 2 houses?
I'm sorry?
How will your request impact those 2 houses that are already in
It
place?
should increase the value of their houses. One thing that's not on this is we're starting a homeowners association too. So we're doing some things to improve the neighborhood, essentially to help the value and help us sell the new construction.
So just to kind of piggyback on Cruz's comment, the 2 houses that are already there, what you're requesting will not have any negative impact in terms of the 2 residents that are currently
That is correct.
on site, right?
That's correct. Yeah, and we've spoken to both of the families, and
That was my next
they're on
question.
board.
Have they expressed any comments to you about not wanting to do this? Or
No, they're glad we're doing it.
glad to
Yeah,
get some new neighbors, huh?
absolutely.
Okay, very good. Any more questions from the commission? Members of the audience, wish to speak for or against this item? This is an item that we will vote on, so a motion is in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. All in favor? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next item is by Flowers and White Engineering on behalf of the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department. It's a public hearing for development plan for a new building at 1800 Terminal Road. It's a M3 district.
Good evening, I'm Kenneth White with Flowers and White Engineering. I'm representing the Montgomery County Sheriff Department. They're putting a new maintenance building in this location, and we have some parking associated with an access off of Terminal Road here. I can entertain any questions.
Any questions, members of the commission? Any members of the audience wish to speak to this item? Seeing none, this is a development plan which does not require a vote, so we'll declare a public hearing was held. Next item.
Next item is Flowers and White Engineering on behalf of Hampstead LLC requesting final approval of Hampstead Plat Number 8B on the northwest side of Mercer Street, 42 feet south of Wigmore Street. It's a T4R zoning district.
Okay.
Yeah, this plat just simply shifts a lot line to the south to miss a power box. Simple as that.
Okay. Any questions from the commission? Any members of the audience wish to speak to this item? Seeing none, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been properly moved and second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes.
The next item is by Flowers and White Engineering on behalf of Hampstead LLC request final approval of Hampstead Plat Number 25 on the north end of Upper James Street, the north end of Clerkenwell Street, and the west side of Grassmere Street in a T4O and T4R and a T1 district.
Okay.
This site's currently under construction and probably has maybe a couple more months before completion. We're asking for final plat approval. I believe it's 56 residential lots here that's shown on this plat. Again, we're asking for final plat approval, and we'll record it in 2-3 months.
Okay, members of the commission, any questions or comments?
It's good to see new lots needed.
I welcome new lots as well.
Telling you, we got several in it. That's good news.
Any other questions from the commission? Any members of the audience wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, a motion's in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. All in favor? Motion passes.
The next item is by Pilgreen Engineering on behalf of El Saja Court Square LLC requesting final approval of 100 Dexter Avenue, Plat Number 1 on the southeast corner of Dexter Avenue in South Perry in a T5 zoning district.
Okay. Yep.
I'm Pep Pilgreen with Pilgreen Engineering. We're proposing to, there's actually 2 lots here, I think, that we're putting into one at the corner. They're looking to put a mixed-use development on this corner.
Okay, members of the commission, any questions, comments? Any members of the audience wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Next item is by Pilgreen Engineering on behalf of Waffle House. It's a public hearing for development plan for a new building on the west side of Chantilly Parkway, 500 feet south of East Chase Parkway. It's a B2 district.
Pep Pilgreen again. This is a new Waffle House to be on Chantilly at the entrance going into the shopping center there at Chantilly and East Chase.
Members of the commission, any comments, questions? Members of the audience, any questions, comments for or against this item? This is a development plan, so we'll declare public hearing has been held. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pilgreen Engineering on behalf of the Yards at Western Rail. It's a public hearing for development plan for an entertainment venue to be located on the north side of Prince Street, west of North McDonough Street in R60D and M1 districts.
This is the old Western Railway yard where they took care of maintenance on their equipment. It has a big covered area where trains used to run up under it, and they worked on it, and several buildings on the site that are nothing but roofs or empty brick buildings, and owners looking to make an entertainment venue out of this. And in order to do this, the building department, the fire department have said that we need to get fire hydrants back there and domestic water back there, and at this time, that's all we're doing. Now, I would think at a later date, they'll come in and do some renovations of these buildings and fix them up, but at this stage, we're just putting water and fire protection.
Pip, what type of entertainment venue are they planning to put back there?
I'm assuming it would be something, they would have the same type of entertainment you would have at the train shed at Union Station, a band, or have an event there where they can sell stuff, you know, a show or something along that lines. It's a lot of property. If you've never seen it, it's an interesting piece of property, but you know, they've got a train shed there that's probably twice as long as the one at Union Station. And it's concrete with rails, and they can go in, and it's got a really nice roof on it, but they can have stuff inside without having to, I don't know, build a new building. I don't think they intend to enclose that, but there are a couple of other brick buildings that at a future date they'll enclose and put restrooms in and that sort of stuff.
Well, I'm assuming that that the city is very much in favor of this. Is that your
Well, I think so, since they bought the land from the city and we rezoned it from the city. We rezoned it to M3 because we could have the entertainment venue there.
Right.
I think they've worked with Lieutenant Peavy and the building department to be able to get this up to the point where they can have some venues and get this place started, and then we can come back and really build it into something nice. There's a lot. Is it 40 acres out there? I can't remember. It's a big chunk of land, and it's got the old round table where they used to bring the locomotives in and work on them and turn them around and send them out. It's a really neat piece of property with a lot of potential, I think.
So, Pep, let me make sure I understand you correctly. You're saying that they're only bringing utilities in at this point.
Right.
But the development plan talks about all-weather access roads and all that's coming later? Or?
No, the all-weather access road is to allow the fire department to get to the fire hydrants.
So that is part of this
That's part
petition.
of this, yes. That and, you know, they'll need good water for whatever they do. In the beginning, they'll set up just portable bathrooms or something along that line, but then we'll come back and fix those up so that they'll have that stuff on the site.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Pilgrim?
That's exciting.
Any members of the audience wish to speak for or against this item? This is a development plan, so we'll declare that a public hearing has been held. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item by Pilgrim Engineering on behalf of Alsacia Court Square LLC, requesting final approval of the yards at Western Rail Plat Number 1, north side of Prince Street, west of North McDonough Street, in a R60D and M1 districts.
This is the plat for this piece of property, and of course we need a plat in order to get building permits and that kind of stuff because it's divided up into a lot of separate different lots at this time.
Okay. Members of the commission, any questions or comments for Pep?
What is that area within the plat but not a part of it? What is in that? That pink
Has
part.
something to do with the railroad, and it was a piece that they couldn't secure, and I don't know whether it's by the deed or something that they weren't able to get it, or that the city wasn't able to get it, and I don't know exactly why, but there's nothing on that piece, and you know they're still trying to acquire it. I don't know whether it's gone to another entity or something, and you know it's a little more difficult.
Gonna clean that area up a lot.
Absolutely. They've been cleaning up out there for a couple of months, and it's really amazing what's out there. You would never know it.
Okay, any other questions or comments? The members of the audience wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, a motion's in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. All in favor? Motion passes.
Thank you.
The next item by J.M. Garrett and Son on behalf of Albert Cantrell requesting final approval of Al's Flowers Plat Number 2 on the west side of Mulberry Street, 450 feet north of Carter Hill Road in a B2 district.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. My name's Richard Bollinger. I'm with J.M. Garrett & Son. We're representing Albert Cantrell. What he's trying to do is he came down with a development plan just a while back. Y'all approved. Didn't realize that he was spreading across 3 lots, so we're trying to clean that up right now and plat those 3 lots into one single lot, and that gets all the parking around his building tied to that one piece of property.
Thank you. Members of the commission, any questions or comments?
I'm gonna make one comment. This is probably, in my opinion, one of the prettiest lots on Mulberry, and putting those 3 together is just it's really makes a nice venue look over there. So this is a very much a plus in my opinion.
Is this the same Al's that was downtown? Was he downtown?
He was up on the corner.
Yeah, he just moved from the top up there down about
down to
3
the side.
buildings.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments from the commission? Any members of the audience wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, a motion is in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. All in favor? Motion carries. Next item.
Next item by J.M. Garrett and Son on behalf of KMB Alley LLC. It's a public hearing for development plan for a new building at 2040 Berry Hill Road. It's an O1 district.
Okay, Mr. Bollinger.
Again, my name is Richard Bollinger with J.M. Garrett & Son, representing Mr. Kaiser. What we have is a building that's going to actually bridge across 2 lots, and the plats to follow this. This is the development plan right here of that particular building.
Thank you. Any members of the commission wish to give any comments or questions for this item? Any members of the audience wish to speak for or against this item? Got one quick question, Richard, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Is there any reason the drives don't align along Old Oak Place?
You know, sometimes you try to line up driveways for businesses and all, but to maximize the parking in this particular case, this is just something that the architect thought would be better.
I hear you, but if you lost a couple of spaces, would that hurt your parking count? If you lost a couple of spaces to make the drive align, would that hurt your parking count?
In this particular case, I don't believe it's a case where you'll have people trying to go across the street, so it does make, sense to have them really lined up if they're going to go from one spot to the other. Even in our city streets, we allow them to be offset as much as 125 feet. It's not a good practice, but it's something I think in a business like this, it probably won't hurt.
It's just a development plan, so we don't vote on it, but.
Yes, sir.
I guess.
I'll take that comment back to the architect.
Who's the architect?
This is David Mullen on this one.
Tell David to line the streets, please. Thank you.
Thank you
for listening. So we'll declare that a public hearing was held. This is a development plan, so we don't vote on this item.
Next item by J.M. Garrett and Son on behalf of Jerry Kaiser, request final approval of Oak Hill Plat Number 1A on the southwest corner of Berry Hill Road and Old Oak Place. It's an O1 district.
Again, Richard Bollinger with J.M. Garrett & Son representing them. And this is these are 2 lots that he's replatting into one for that development plan that you just saw.
Okay. Questions or comments from the commission? Members of the audience, would you care to speak to or for or against this item? Seeing none, the motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. All in favor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next item by Goodwin Mills and Kaywood on behalf of Montgomery East, Inc., requesting final approval of Alabama Public Health Care Authority Plat Number 2, 200 feet north of Roy Hodges Boulevard, approximately 600 feet east of Northeastern Boulevard. It's an M1 district.
You may present your item, Mel.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought it said it took care of that.
You can pull that microphone down a little
I'm
bit.
sorry.
There you go.
We've asked to delay this item.
Sure.
Pardon?
Sure.
Okay.
It's delayed. Next item.
Okay, let me get to it. Goodwin Mills and Kaywood on behalf of New Park Development Company, LLC, requesting final approval of New Park Plat Number 6 on the south end of Barrett Parkway and the south end of Chastain Parkway in a PUD district.
This is a continuation of the New Park development with 34 65-foot lots in this development, or in this phase.
Okay, members of the commission.
Good to see new lots again.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? The members of the audience wish to speak for or against this item. Seeing none, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. All in favor? Motion passes.
Next item by Goodwin Mills and Kaywood on behalf of New Park Development Company, LLC, requesting final approval of New Park Plat Number 7, some 114 feet southwest of Barrett Parkway and approximately 100 feet south of Park Crossing. It's a PUD district.
And this is another area out there with 50-foot lots, and we're developing additional 31-foot lots in this area.
Okay. Buddy, you want to make a
Great
comment?
to see new lots.
Any additional comments or questions? Any members of the audience wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Been moved and properly second. All in favor?
Mr. Tate,
Yeah.
who seconded it?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
You've heard him before, he said.
Too slow? Ann told me she had somewhere to go. And we're trying to honor her request.
Goodwin Mills and Kaywood on behalf of New Park Development Company, LLC, requesting final approval of New Park Plat Number 8, 400 feet southwest of Barrett Parkway, 100 feet south of Park Crossing in a PUD district.
And this is an additional 28 lots, 50-foot lots.
Buddy?
Ditto.
Any additional questions or comments from the commission? Any members of the audience wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, a motion's in order.
Move to approve.
Second. Been moved and properly second. All in favor? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Is there any other business that comes before the commission at this time? Seeing none, the meeting's adjourned.
Outstanding, outstanding.